Hi again. I have completed my road trip to all the national parks in the contiguous U.S. I want to start off by thanking God. All glory goes to Him. Looking at the trip by the numbers, though, you have 136 days on the road, 51 national parks visited, 41 other parks, monuments, forests, etc. visited, more than 25,000 miles driven, more than 900 miles hiked, one phone broken, one catalytic converter stolen, one deer hit, one car totaled, and ultimately one trip completed. It was truly a blessed journey. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer those now.
What was your favorite place that you visited?
That's what everyone wants to know, and I don't think I can answer that. Every place was great and had something to offer. I just encourage anyone to try and visit as many places as they can. Yeah. Next question.
What motivated you to take this trip?
Well, I had started a just corporate desk job after graduating college, and wasn't really feeling fulfilled or excited by that. So I was kind of considering other things that I could do, and I had the idea to take a road trip to all the national parks. And once I determined that I had enough saved up to do that, I took the leap, resigned from the job, and hit the road. And I'm glad I did. It was a great experience. Yeah. Next question.
How did you plan your route?
Yeah. I primarily based the route off of this graphic that I found with the best times to visit the national parks. And based on that, I kind of set the initial route. And then I found a Reddit thread with the best places to visit in the U.S. that are not national parks, and I kind of fit those in as I could along that initial route to the national parks. And I was ultimately able to see 41 of those other parks, monuments, and forests, which was nice because some of those are just as beautiful, if not more so, than the national parks. And I'll have links to those resources that I used in the description. But yeah, I also tried to fit in friends and family along that route as well, just as many as I could. Yeah, that was the route. Next question.
How did you decide which hike to do?
For the hikes, I just used all trails. If you look up the park or whatever in the app, it shows you the top sites and most popular hikes. So I would just reference that when deciding which hikes to do, trying to see as many of the sites as I could. Usually I got most, if not all of them, which was great. But yeah, next question.
What was your setup in the car?
The setup was pretty simple. I just had the front passenger seat pushed all the way forward. At the foot of that seat is where I kind of kept all my laundry. And then in the seat, I had the water jug, some towels, my water bottles, and the hammock. Then behind that seat, I kept the cooler, where I put all the canned food. And then on top of that, I had a pillow to kind of fill in the gap, because I had the rear passenger seat folded down, and that's where I put the mattress pad. So when I was sleeping, I'd have my head in the rear of the car with my feet kind of going through the center console opening, which worked out. Behind the driver's seat, I had my boots, the camping chair, and the sunscreen. And then in that rear driver's side seat, I had just my snacks, which was mostly potato chips and some fruit. But then in the trunk is where I kind of had my closet on that driver's side. The passenger side was just the mattress pad, but on the driver's side in the trunk, I kept all my clothes and things. And then there was also a like hidden storage area underneath where I kept some things that I didn't use as often, a shovel, tent, and some books. So it was nice to have that extra storage space. But yeah, that was the setup, and it worked out well. I would just spend the night at like neighborhood parks, and only got asked to move once in Oregon. I did get a parking ticket in Rhode Island though, but overall, not bad. Yeah, next question.
What did you eat?
Mostly canned food. Started out with the Campbell's Chunky, thought I was gonna ride with that, but then I tried Yellowstone chili and never turned back. So yeah, I would do that and some canned beans in the morning and at night. During the day, I would usually just have a bag of chips. I'd go with just plain kettle chips from Walmart. Then I'd also have an apple, orange, and banana throughout the day. Occasionally, I'd treat myself to the Costco food court, or just the taco kits that they have there. And then also when visiting friends and family, I'd usually get a home-cooked meal, or we'd go out to eat. So that'd also be a nice little treat. Yeah, mostly canned food though. Next question.
How many days did you go without a shower?
Out of the 136 days I was on the road, I went 45 of those without a shower. 7 of those I did wash off in like a lake or public restroom. So if you consider those, it was only 38 days without a shower, but never more than 2 days in a row, so it wasn't too bad. I did it mostly with YMCA membership, just stopping to shower at YMCAs along the way. But I'd also get a shower when stopping to visit friends and family. So that worked out well. Next question.
Did you have any bathroom emergencies?
Being on the road or out on the trails, nature unfortunately called various times when there was no bathroom nearby. So I'd either pull over to the side of the road or venture off the trail a little bit and handle my business. Out on the trails it was rough, wiping my butt with whatever I could find, some leaves, tree bark, rock. I never packed toilet paper, but wouldn't have been the worst idea. But I think it worked out. Everything seems to be okay down there. But in the middle of the night, if I ever had to pee, I'd usually just go outside the car. There was never usually anyone around. There were a couple times where I had to go number 2 at night, though. One of those being the first night, where I went around to a few gas stations that ended up being closed and wound up at a Raising Cane's. Then the other time was in Maine, where I just ended up going in a trash can, and a police officer actually drove around the parking lot as I was handling my business that time, and thankfully didn't stop. But yeah, the next morning also I ended up talking to a city worker who was picking up the trash, so that was fun. Probably more than you wanted to know about the whole bathroom situation, but there you go. Next question.
Where did you do laundry?
I did laundry when visiting friends and family for the most part. I only had to use a laundromat 3 times, which was nice. Yeah, most of the time I was just able to get that handled while visiting friends and family, so that saved a little expense. Yeah. Next question.
Was there anything you packed but didn't end up needing?
There were a few things. There was the folding shovel, the water jug, most of the cold weather gear, and the tent. The only thing I probably wouldn't pack if I were to do it again is the shovel. But there was one thing that I didn't pack that I ended up needing. That was a bed sheet. It was just nice to have to keep the mattress pad clean. And I was able to just pick that up at a Goodwill along the way. So yeah. Next question.
Can you walk us through what happened with the broken phone, the stolen catalytic converter, and the deer you hit, and the totaled car?
Yeah, it was far from the perfect trip. Starting with the broken phone, that was day 9, just over a week in. I was at Dry Tortugas National Park, just outside of Key West in Florida. Just trying to get some footage of the fishies while I was snorkeling, and my phone was not equipped for that. And shortly after getting out of the ocean, it gave out on me, so I was on the ferry back to Key West without a phone, and then I had to figure out how to get a new phone when I got back. I ended up just looking up on my laptop, finding an Apple store in Miami, which was 3 hours away at the time, so had to try to get there before it closed. So got some navigation going on my laptop and did the drive. Ended up getting there just a few minutes before it closed, and getting the phone. So it didn't set me back too much, but yeah, unexpected expense for sure. The stolen catalytic converter was a whole nother thing, but that was a month in, day 31. I was visiting a friend in New York City, staying at his apartment. I had parked just outside on the street, and as I was getting ready to leave, repacking the car, a lady from the neighboring apartment was yelling down. I didn't know she was yelling at me at the time. I just thought she was yelling to yell, and I couldn't really hear her because it's loud in the city. But I just continued packing my car and got in, started it up, and that's when I realized something was wrong. It was awfully loud, so I turned it off, got out of the car, tried to redirect my attention to that lady, but she had stopped at that point, so I was kind of just standing there confused. But she ended up coming downstairs and letting me know what had happened the night before, which was my catalytic converter got stolen. The whole thing had woken her up, I guess, and she took a video and called the cops. So it was nice to have that video, but I mean, nothing really came of it. It was definitely good to know what happened, and I'm thankful that she came down and let me know. But yeah, I just had to get the car towed to the dealership and catalytic converter replaced before I could get back on the road. So extended my stay in New York a couple days, put another dent in the budget, but we were back on the road, and it was all good. With the deer, that was day 101 on my way to Yellowstone. I was coming around a bend and saw the deer on the side of the road. It looked like, or it did start heading off the road. Looked like it was just minding its own business. And then as I was approaching, it just darted across the road and I tried to brake. It almost made it across. Just got its tail end with the passenger side of my vehicle. And I hope it's okay. I don't know. But my car lost a headlight. And then there was some fluid leaking, but thankfully that didn't end up being anything significant, and I was able to continue the journey without having to get anything repaired. Lastly, I guess, with the totaled car on day 126, that was going from Grand Canyon National Park to my grandparents in Flagstaff. I had been falling behind an older RV, and it stopped suddenly, and I rear-ended it. I ended up totaling the car. It was confusing though, because we had both got out of the car and we're gonna exchange information. Went back to each other's car, and then they just took off without really saying anything. So, reflecting on what had happened, I think that they may not have had functioning brake lights, and that would explain why I had rear-ended them in the first place, and then why they ultimately took off. But it was nice of them to make sure I was okay, and I'm glad everyone was okay, and it ended up working out. I got my car towed to my grandparents' house, and then insurance took it from there. And my grandma happened to be driving down to Phoenix a couple days later, so I just tagged along with her, got dropped off at home, and then my dad was nice enough to let me borrow his car for the remainder of the journey, which coincidentally was a Prius, so finished it out on brand, and it worked out. Next question.
How much did the trip end up costing you?
In total, it ended up costing $10,742.91. But that includes those unexpected expenses, the phone, the catalytic converter, a parking ticket, and a couple speeding tickets. So without those, it was $5,364.26. So if you can avoid those unexpected expenses, you get the trip for half off. And I'll have a link to a spreadsheet with a detailed breakdown of those expenses and other trip details in the description if you're interested. Any other questions?
What's next?
That's the question. I don't know. I know God has a plan, and I'm excited to see what opportunities present itself. But not sure. We'll see. Is that it? All right. Thank y'all. God bless.